actually. Yeah, we're in here. It's Wells, Jackson, Grant back here with another UFC episode. Jackson and Grant realistically going to walk you through how the best way to attack this card, and with me just asking away questions because let's be honest, I'm not the biggest UFC nerd, but we're going to try to figure out the best way to attack this. But watch this. Colors, expectations. Boom. Tybura versus Spivac 2, presented by Prediction Strike. Moving on to the next fight. Jackson, walk us through this one here.
Yeah, so this is just one of the two prelim picks that we wanted to take a look at today. Wanted to squeeze these in just because there's really not a ton of value like on Prediction Strike and the books to glean off of. So you got to find the value where you can get it here. Stephanie Luciano being a great example of that. I do think this is a good fight. I don't think the odds suggest how close this fight is going to be. I think Toledo's like 1.5 to 1 dog in most sports books and stuff. But on Prediction Strike, we've got Toledo Alencar at $2.85 with Stephanie Luciano sitting at $1.47. So clear inherent value there on the Luciano side of things. I definitely think she can get it done. And again, this one is like a really close one to call. I see reasons why Toledo could get it done. I see reasons why Stephanie Luciano could get it done. This is actually a rematch. Steph is the favorite, like I said, so you would assume she won the last fight. She didn't. She had some success in the striking, but I think she kind of lost the first and second round, squeezed out enough in the third round to get a draw. But I do think she proved that she could defend the takedowns from Toledo Alencar in that one. I think Toledo missed like 20, had like 20 failed takedown attempts in that fight. So she doesn't quit. She's insanely tough, never stops moving. So I trust her to get this one done in the rematch. And we're getting a good price for her here.
All right. Moving on. Chelsea Chandler.
Yeah, we got women's MMA galore this weekend for our value picks. Chelsea Chandler being the second one. She is going up against Yana Santos, and we've got a pretty big price discrepancy here. With Yana being at around $6.69 at the time of making these slides, and Chelsea being at $4.56. We're getting like a $2 discount. And Santos is the favorite in most books, albeit not as large of a favorite as she appears to be here on Prediction Strike. And Yana is kind of like a high volume striker, lands 4 significant strikes a minute or around there, 3.45. Or sorry, that's Chelsea Chandler. But yeah, around 4. Has some decent offensive wrestling, 53% takedown accuracy, and even lower 42% takedown defense. Is on a 3-fight skid. Chelsea Chandler, we know who she is. She bullies people around, really big for this division. Very well-rounded, likes to just get you up against the cage and bring you down. Just powerful, big, goes nonstop, that always applies pressure. Beat Josiane Nunes in her last win, and she just outsized her there. Chelsea, not very good skill-wise. Yana lost 3 fights in a row. I think Yana's probably technically the more advanced fighter than Chelsea Chandler. But she kind of seems like she's on her way out here. 3 fights in a row lost. Chelsea's super hardworking. We know she's not going to quit. I think this is another opportunity, though, for Chandler to just have one of those classic bullying, dominating fights. Definitely going to go the distance this one, so don't expect that finish bonus for picking up those Chandler shares, but I see Yana getting outside here.
All right. Now on to the next bout. Another female fight. Carrosa versus Pani Kaninska. I probably said that wrong. All right, walk us through how this one's supposed to go down.
So, price-wise, Pani is the cheaper fighter. I think, yeah, Carol Rosa, I think, is around a 2-to-1 favorite in most markets. So this somewhat accurately reflects the market sentiment on this fight. Carol, very busy striker, as you can see, lands like 4.74 significant strikes per minute. Definitely willing to trade shots, solid takedown offense and defense. You could see 66% takedown defense, pretty good there. Does not have the most power, applies a ton of pressure, athletic. She has more than one takedown per UFC fight she's been in. So she's coming off a loss to Aldana where she was looking like Max Holloway. She landed 204 significant strikes in 3 rounds, still lost that one. And she's taking on Pani, who's also a boxer, throws decent combos, good footwork, has definitely outstruck some good opponents. Decent takedown defense at 66% as well. Oh shoot, I'm reading. I put the same stat cards for these guys.
Put the same one.
So I know for a fact the one on the right is Pani Kianzad. The one on the left is also Pani because Carol Rosa lands a bit closer to 6 significant strikes per minute. Sorry guys, we're starting out these slides for the podcast here. A couple errors, but yeah, I do think that Carol's just going to outvolume Pani here. Almost 6 significant strikes a minute, like I said. A little bit higher takedown defense than Pani at 68%. So yeah, I think she's just going to be the better all-around boxer. This one's going to stay on the feet. Sneaky good wrestling, and her losses have all been tough matchups.
Someone's audio is going crazy. My ears. Not sure which one.
You think it's me?
It could be.
You want me to mute and try it?
Let's see. Try.
Here, let me.
Here. All right, Jackson, go ahead and get started. Yeah, it sounds a lot more. It might just be the AirPods then on this one. I don't know why.
I mean, I can take them out.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Cool. So yeah, on to Chepe Mariscal versus Damon Jackson here. Chepe, he is the more expensive fighter here. Damon Jackson is cheaper. I think that pretty much reflects market sentiment. Chepe coming off of a somewhat controversial win. He has a bunch of accolades in different types of martial arts. BJJ championships, kickboxing championships, wrestled in college. And he is, I guess, generally a striker, but as you can see, or like as you could tell by what I just said, he's well-rounded, willing to engage in a firefight, coming off a win over Morgan Charrier, who we know is good. Couldn't hang in the striking, so he leaned on his grappling a bit more. Damon Jackson, good grappler, good at taking things in scrambles. Doesn't shoot the best takedowns. I think his takedown accuracy is 35% takedown accuracy. So not the best, but he's good at snatching things up. Like with trips, sweeps, stuff like that. People call him the leech. He is the definition of that. Once he gets you down, you can't get back up on him. And he's coming off a grappling heavy win over Alexander Hernandez. Striking looked a little bit better than it usually does, but he got dropped in the 3rd round. And Chepe is the favorite. I feel like Chepe has been an underdog in a lot of his most recent fights to my memory. He's a favorite here against Damon Jackson. He's a pressure fighter, an absolute dog, I would say. His fights have been really close, a couple gift decisions, I would say. And Damon is looking like probably one of the better versions of Damon Jackson we've seen in the UFC. If Damon wrestles early, I think he could have early success here. Chepe could definitely be taken down. Ultimately, Chepe, more well-rounded, the better fighter of the two. So he'll be slightly worried about his takedown defense, though. I think if Damon gets the wrestling going early, he could definitely have a shot at winning this.
Yeah, I feel like Chepe has kind of shown throughout his career, though, that he can, or at least is comfortable defending takedowns, though. You see that 66% number there, which is a pretty high one in comparison to most fighters you'll see in the UFC. I tend to just trust his versatility here more. You never know with these kind of fights, kind of how the style is determined. And I trust him to be able to adapt more so to different types of fights than I do Damon Jackson. So that would be my lean here.
The markets do expect this to go a bit more if it were to not go decision by a knockout. Mm-hmm. Anything to kind of talk about the striking specifically here between the two? Because I can see the defense is probably going to stop them.
Chepe is going to be the far better striker just generally than is Damon Jackson. Damon just kind of tries to land shots to set up like kind of in the pocket exchanges so he can get you down or try to get you against the cage. But I think Chepe, if you're looking for like a knockout or something, Chepe, if he's going to win it, that is one of the ways he could do it. He has KO power for sure.
Oh, good to know. On to the next bout. Bro, why do they look like this?
Oh, I skipped this. This fight got canceled.
Oh, but like, can we just talk about this? Like, why do they look so like?
I don't like the way Jafel Fieldhill looks at all.
Yeah, like whoever did their shots here, like
he looks
just
like a
affected the hell
skeleton.
out of him. I feel bad.
Looks like a skinwalker battle almost.
No, like actually.
Oh boy, maybe that's why it was canceled.
Makes sense. All right, on to the next one. Gutierrez versus Kwong Lee. All right, this will be an interesting one. How should we be expecting this to go down? Looks like we have an undefeated fighter, it seems here.
Yep, we've got the prospect stepping up on short notice, Kwong Lee, going up against Chris Gutierrez.
Those go well usually, right?
Yeah, not only that, but he's stepping up in like a co-main event against a dude who has quality UFC wins. So, long story short, like I haven't looked too much into this Kwong Lee guy. He seems like a good fighter, striker, Muay Thai kind of guy, controls range well, is like an outside of the pocket sort of guy, controls range with his kicks, decent BJJ on the ground, not a ton of wrestling, but I just think it's too much too soon for this guy. Chris Gutierrez is like an actual fighter. He just came off a really close loss to Song Yadong where he was winning the striking, just couldn't defend the takedowns there. Kwong Lee's a striker. Chris Gutierrez isn't going to have a problem there. I am totally fine with investing on him or betting on him, even if the odds are unfavorable.
I can't even
see. It seems like Kwong has a bit of a deep bag when it comes to submissions, though. I mean, he's fighting in random competitions and stuff, so you never know. But
he's got some BJJ for sure.
Yeah, obviously, it's a dude who's making his UFC debut against someone with experience. It's tough to have any other lean than the one we're discussing right now. He does seem to have some talent, though, if you just look at his resume of how he's finished fights. So hopefully it's at least an exciting one, and we see him kind of try to push the pace and try to force something. I think this one could be exciting if he chooses to go that route.
Look at the picture I had to use for this dude.
He does project to be the cheapest fighter. That's the only thing I could find is he's projected to be the cheapest fighter in this card.
Yeah.
So probably biggest disparity odds-wise as well once they release that.
Yeah.
And then is this actually the last fight? Wow. Short.
There's There's a couple other fights we can just touch on, I guess, but the first fight of the main card, which I think was probably a prelim or was not scheduled before that, but Charalampos Gregorio versus Toshiomi Kazama. If you look at both these dudes' resumes, I haven't seen either of them fight, but
that sounds like an
appears
anime.
to be two trash cans coming up against each other. These guys have both gotten battered around in their careers. It feels like two dudes that are probably fighting to stay on. Charalampos is the consensus favorite here by a pretty significant margin. I don't think either of them have a win in the UFC, or I think Charalampos won his contender series fight and then lost his debut, and Kazama got knocked out in his. So an interesting fight to kind of have in that main card. This feels like a prelim type fight, but I think I'm not sure what they're priced at on PS. We can find that. I'll add it in post, but this feels like Charalampos is probably a little bit more skilled, but pretty low confidence on either of these sides. They haven't been super trustworthy, either of them.
Yeah, I think this is priced appropriately. It's $1.73 for Charalampos, 76 cents for Toshiomi. I mean, Kazama, supposed to be grapple first, hasn't really gotten it going in his recent fights. Kind of chinny. I honestly think Charalampos is a solid prospect. I think he wins this pretty comfortably.
The other fight that I think just got announced maybe today, but Danny Barlow is supposed to have a different opponent. Now he's fighting Nikolai Veretnikov, something like that.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. These names are crazy.
Veretnikov.
I think
I believe Barlow will be a favorite by the time the odds release for this, but we don't have anything to go off of so far. But he is an intriguing prospect for me. There's a reason why he's fighting so far up this card and was given a new fighter to fight. They clearly want to see something from him. So I'm excited to see the fight regardless.
Let's see what the odds are looking like. We've got minus 275 favorite for Danny Barlow. That surprises me. I think I like Nikolai. Danny Barlow probably wins this one. I don't know.
How often do short notice fighters come up and win? Honestly.
It happens a relatively good amount. I mean,
they're definitely losing a lot more than they win, but
yeah, for sure.
Varetnikov's another guy making his UFC debut at 34. He fought in the Contender Series 4 years ago or 3 years ago or so. And then I guess whatever happened didn't work out, went to a different competition, won a few fights, and then now he's finally here making his debut. I'm not sure if that was strictly because Barlow just needed a guy to fight, and this felt like an interesting matchup. But I generally like Barlow as a prospect. Only 29, won his last fight, which I believe was his debut. Seems to be a knockout artist in his past experience in other competitions and everything. So I'm excited to see this.
I will say, though, that guy Josh Quinlan, who he knocked out in his debut, has looked like a bum since.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Barlow wins. Nikolai, no joke, though. This dude's not a dog, but he loves a dog fight, super.
He looks aggressive. Like a Russian soldier. He doesn't look like a guy that's going out he's sad in this one. So hopefully we at least see some
crazy chin. Yeah, so that's going to be a good one.
All right. Well, on to the actual main card that we have up in front of you. We got Spivac versus Tybura. I feel like this, just going off the numbers that Jackson has put up here for us, you should just automatically be leaning towards Spivac here, no? Because of the accuracy compared. Well, he's got good defense for it, technically.
Yeah. And I just realized the prices on this slide aren't right. It's actually $940 for Tybura, $688 for Spivac. So
still a good buy.
Mandatory then.
Yeah, exactly. Spivac, you got to buy him on Prediction Strike. I could see an argument for either side here. Tybura did take it the first time. This is a rematch, and he's old, 38 years old, but he is durable. Never quits. Okay striking, kind of busy at 3.6 landed per minute. It's definitely just there to set up takedowns, though. If he gets a takedown on you, only 33% accuracy, but if he gets it, he will just ground and pound you until you quit. Averages a little over one, or I guess a decent bit over one takedown a fight, 1.43, and has that low accuracy, like I mentioned. He kind of relies on getting you to the cage and bringing you down there, or trip scrambles to bring you down most of the time. And he's coming off that first round submission over Tai Tuivasa. Sergey, grappler, also good ground and pound, solid takedowns, a lot better than Tybura, at least as far as just straight up classic takedown accuracy goes. Doesn't have knockout power, does have solid volume, as you can see at 3.54, decent jab, averages 5 takedowns a fight. So that just tells you that his biggest weakness is control time. He gets you down. Most people are able to just slip out from under him, get right back up. And he is coming off a second round knockout loss to Cyril Gane, where the striking was just not actionable. He couldn't hang with it. And Tybura beat him, like I said, pretty comfortably in the first fight. He is older by a decent amount, but if you go look at their fights, you ask yourself what's changed on either side since then. It's really not that much. Since Spivac lost to Tybura, we saw a pretty bad fight with Alexei Olenek. Made him look not great. He's looked a little bit better since then. I think Tybura can win this if he gets those takedowns. If Spivac's able to defend them, he loses. only person that's taken Tybura down in like the last half decade is Alexander Romanov, and Tybura won that fight. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are heavyweights, though. Either of them could take down either of them. Honestly, going to tell you to be safe and just hedge here. Like, go Tybura in other markets at the same time as hammering Spivac on Prediction Strike. Like, why not? You're getting Tybura underdog odds elsewhere, Spivac at bigger underdog odds on PS.
I believe that is.
I mean, both these guys are dangerous. I feel like Tybura is more than capable of getting a win here, but I feel like in these last 4 years, since they fought, Spivac has kind of improved more than Tybura has, in my opinion. Both these guys have kind of served as gatekeepers in the division to some extent. They have taken care of kind of the lower level of competitors, and then obviously Spivac lost to Cyril Gane in his last fight, and then lost to Tom Aspinall a few years before that. 2 losses that, I mean, you can't really blame them for. 2 guys where they're just kind of outclassed and have less technical ability then. So you can't really hang your hat on that one too much. I feel like Spivac is certainly a much better investment here, obviously, and I feel like he probably gets this done. I mean, he's 4 years older. He was only 25 when that fight happened against a 34-year-old Tybura, who is obviously a much scarier competitor than I would assume he is now. So I just feel like the time off and the kind of experience level we've seen since then, still only 29, feels like a great investment going forward. I don't know how high Spivac's ceiling is, but I think he's a guy that will comfortably be around that upper echelon of the heavyweight division for a while. So I'm gonna lean with Spivac here.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense. I don't really see why not. I'm curious why this hairstyle for Tybura, but
it's pretty fitting.
That makes me just want to like not pick him at all. Honestly,
that's kind of what he should have, though. I feel like.
I don't know, Rocket.
If he had like a TikTok kid like perm going, I don't think it would look all that great on him. So.
All right, so Jackson, are you eating this papaya thing, or what is happening now?
Yep. So, guys, I mean, it's not gonna happen here, but I don't have it on me, so you don't have to change the screen. But we should do another spicy challenge bet. I think by the time this video is on YouTube, you guys are gonna see me eating an extremely hot Thai spicy green papaya salad. It's like an actual food challenge. You get your name up on the wall, and I think you get a free meal if you complete it in X amount of time. So
we'll be adding that in after this period.
Grant and Joel Alvarez are the ones who did it to me. So
like 2 bites in. You think? I'm not the best at spice. Thank goodness. All right, I was going to tell you how many other people have failed, but you'll have to guess. And remember,
it's too big. Just it's too much. It's too much. Is it hot? Is it hot?
no time limit, so we're taking it slow. We're about 6 bites in here. So hot.
Yeah. Blaming Joel.
Is there something that we disagreed on here?
Let's see. Something that's like even odds.
Like it was somewhat straightforward.
It was a very straightforward card.
Yeah, it sucks. I will say, I feel like I've taken the slight dog, I will say, on the first 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know Elvis plus 130, and I know Hollabaugh was like plus 150.
You like Chelsea Chandler, right? Because she's a slight dog.
Yeah. I would do that, though. Okay. I mean, we could look at the Luciano Alencar fight. Do you have any leans there?
No.
Okay.
But for the sake of content, I'm happy to be assigned a side if you think it's fair.
Oh, how about this? Because we have 3 women fights. Which one of them actually ends up being a finish, if any?
All right. I'm down. I know which one I'm picking. Grant, you can pick first.
Give me wait, I just have to say it ends in a finish? Give me the Carol Rosa fight.
All right. Carol Rosa fight.
That's not what I wanted. I wanted Stephanie Luciano to lead Alencar. Let's go.
All right.
That
Sounds
just
good.
end in a finish?
Just has to
Yeah.
end in the finish.
What are the odds on this thing?
I'm not going to lie, Grant. I looked at the odds before this. You took the one that had the longest odds.
Oh, cool.
Let's go. Wait, Grant. Wait. do you want to switch to the Chelsea Chandler one?
Let's see.
Does
So
that,
one.
I mean, I guess that has more of a chance, but I don't know if that really.
All right. So Grant's is minus 500 to go over 2.5 rounds. Jackson's
What are the odds
is
on the
minus
Toledo Alencar
250.
one?
And then
Minus 250 to go over.
Roast, let's see.
Oh, so it's probably not still.
Santos is minus 345. Like they're all projected to go over. Like it's a long shot.
I'll take
regardless.
the Chelsea Chandler one though.
All right, bet. Do you have like a challenge nearby you, Grant, to like something like
There
this?
probably is. Not that I know of, but yeah.
All right. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, if there even is like one of these girls that get it done inside the distance, like it's a very small chance still in itself.
I'm gonna be. I'm definitely gonna have to like place that prop or something.
Yeah. Just to see it. All right. But that said, that's it for us. Save your bowels because it doesn't sound like these two are. So
wait, did you like Tybura instead of Spivac?
I mean, dude, I kind of like this thing we're doing here.
All right, I mean, but if neither of them end in a finish, that can be the tiebreaker.
Okay, deal. That's a good idea. I'll take Tybura there because I'm taking the better odds finish at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
All right. But that said, make sure you guys subscribe. Sounds like we're gonna have some pretty action-packed things coming here in the near future. But yeah, until next time, y'all. Talk to you later. Peace now.
See ya.